About 3 years ago, I was scrolling through Reddit like I always do, love my Reddit, and I came across a post that said, boomers ruined everything. And I'm like, well, somebody's having a bad day, and just scrolled on past that. But it was like from that day forward, it was just this thing. It became this internet thing to hate on boomers. I'm like, boomers? Us, the old hippies that want just good for everybody, including ourselves? Who could hate a boomer, right? Right? Well, apparently the entire internet. So I thought, well, what is it about boomers that people despise? I want to know more about that. So the first thing I did was look into what are all of the generations that we have that are still influential in America. You've got the greatest generation. Those are the World War II. That's the World War II generation. Then you have the silent generation. It kind of gets lost in between the greatest generation and the baby boomers. Then there are the boomers, right? Then there's Generation X, the millennials, Generation Y, and what one of my students actually coined as the I generation. And let's just ball up the X generation, millennials, Y, and I into what I'll call Generation Hence. We'll just call them Generation Hence, right? So I was looking at what were some of the complaints against these previous generations, and the greatest generation, well, they were racist. I mean, they came back from World War II and just made sure the white way was the way we did everything. There was no room for, not a lot of room for anything else. Then the silent generation were known for being very conformist, not rocking the boat too much, right? And the baby boomers, really, we were out to change the world. We're the ones that started Earth Day, Environmental Protection Agency. I myself marched against Diablo Canyon in San Luis Obispo. We can't have nuclear power, which I'm a little more conflicted about that now because it can be a clean energy. Still makes me nervous. I was just glad to not live next to it anymore. But boomers really did consider themselves pretty darn ideological. We wanted to save the earth. We felt like we stopped the Vietnam War, and we were out to just turn the world around for the betterment of all. But here's what happened, and I don't know who started it, where it came from. And you can see in this graph the evidence of it. Do you see how those two lines diverge? I will own up, I will confess for all of baby boomers in being a big part of why those two lines between production and wages diverged. Right about then was Proposition 13 in California. And for those of you who don't know what that is, it was the proposition that really limited taxation. It was the beginning, well, maybe not the beginning, but the culmination of an anti-tax sentiment. And I remember thinking, this was in 1978, I remember thinking to myself, I was not for it because aren't taxes beneficial? I mean, you get roads, you get social benefit, you get influence around the world, you get services that help everybody, you get education. If we end taxes, if we lower taxes, what takes its place, right? I think at that moment, something happened where people who, I got mine, you get yours, really started taking off in this country. And now what we have, the people in charge are the ones who are boomers. And what do people in charge do? They further their own interests. And that's not necessarily malicious or evil. It's just the way power works. So if you, as a non-boomer, want the world to work the way you think it should work, you need to get yourself in power. You need to vote, right? Right? So boomers were the ones that coined, don't trust anybody over 30. Maybe you should do that again. Today is day 22,387. Thanks for watching. Hope to see you again soon. Bye.